Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And so, in the beginning of this story, you had a vaccination related injury. And you were moving through this experience looking for someone who could have create an experience for you, looking for someone that could diagnose, care, and treat what you had going on. What
Mhm.
was your mindset around that process? How did you bring yourself to experiencing that and working with physicians to ultimately find Dr. Johnson?
I, having been, in the outskirts, I'm going to say the outskirts of medicine because I was really young as a nurse, and I still to this day I love anatomy and biology, and it shows up in my art. And I could sit down with a dictionary or a book on anatomy, both of which I have, and spend a whole evening just loving all of that.
Yeah.
Um, but the answer to that question is, I think that we need to be, and people talk about having an advocate for yourself, and I had to be my own advocate because no one knew what to tell me, and it was such a new kind of thing and a new injury. So my selection of a surgeon, I'll tell you, it was I think all three surgeons that I interviewed were probably really good at what they do. I mean, they were top of their field, right?
Yeah.
However, I think having a relationship, a with someone who cares. I remember walking out after I went to New Jersey all by myself and had to, rent a car and drive an hour and all that kind of thing to sit with these two men. One was Dr. Gary Hare, who's a specialist in at the dental. It used to be Rutgers University. Like, he spent an hour with me talking about trying to diagnose me because no one really knew what was going on, like what was happening
Yeah.
in here that was creating all of that. And then when the next day I went to see Dr. Johnson, and in between that, they ordered an MRI. They called, one of them was in surgery, called the other one who answered the phone in surgery, and ordered a specialized MRI. And when you're in a place like that, I was so vulnerable. I felt vulnerable because I didn't
Yeah.
know, and I had to make a decision. And the first guy that I went to had such here in San Diego had such he was so abrupt and short with me and didn't really want to answer my questions. And it was the first diagnosis I had that I felt was a real one. And I went and sat outside on a little bench and sat there and cried by
Yeah.
myself. And so choosing someone that you can relate to, and I think it's all about who they're being while they're being with you.